Hello viewers, this is me, Ewaenruwa Nomaren from It Pays to Fear God. This video is yet again another episode of verse breakdown, and the verse that I've prepared to break down for you viewers today is Proverbs chapter 22 verse 6, where King Solomon had stated, "Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it." Now, in order to train a child successfully, and not just successfully, but in the fear of God, it requires discipline, love for God, and strength. So let's start off with love for God, because this is just about the most important. In order to raise a child successfully in the fear of God, we have to first of all develop a love for His principles. We have to first of all fall in love with the way God works, His principles described in Galatians chapter 5 and verses 22 and 23, and be exercising them in our lives, because every responsible father always passes down what he himself believed in to his children. So similarly, when we love God, then we can pass down God's judgments, God's justice, God's love, faith, etc. down to our children. And Abraham was also the same. If we read Genesis chapter 18 verse 19, where God himself had stated, "For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Lord, to do justice and judgment, that the Lord may bring upon Abraham that which he hath spoken of him." And that leads me to the next two parts, discipline and strength. In order to raise a child in the fear of God, we have to have strength and be able to discipline. It doesn't have to be physically, but spiritually, we have to have the discipline to not only keep ourselves in what we're doing, not showing a bad example to our children, because they learn from such things. Children are scientifically proven to have a very good brain to learn. So showing a bad example is not a good thing. If we read Matthew chapter 5 verse 16, Romans chapter 14 verse 15, etc. Because they're in our spiritual atmosphere. So we have to show a good example to such ones. We have to discipline ourselves in order to be able to do that. And we have to have the strength to be able to dictate to them, raise them up in the fear of God. Because it is only when we discipline our children, whether physically or spiritually, but more importantly spiritually, so that they can understand the future in a spiritual light and they can move where God wants them to go. And guess what? God does the exact same thing. Who He loves, He makes sure that He disciplines them so that they can be ready to serve Him with all their heart, soul, and mind. For whom the Lord loveth, He chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom He receiveth. If ye endure chastening, God dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? Now no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless afterward it yieldeth the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby. And the last section of that verse talks about how when we train them up properly, they will not depart from what we train them to do. Now, keep in mind, Satan the devil can interfere with this process and change their course. So the verse isn't really specifying what Satan the devil might do, but usually a child is like a whiteboard, which the parents have a marker to write on. We decide who they will be in the future, so we have to do good parenting so that they can become good. Like I cited, Abraham was somebody who would teach his children about God's promise made to him in Genesis chapter 12, chapter 15, chapter 17 and 18, etc. And because of that, Isaac was educated about it, and he raised up Jacob, who raised up 12 sons who had their own sons, and everybody was educated, even up to Joseph and beyond, because Abraham first did it. And when such people would grow, they would not depart from such promises. And that is where I think I can stop in explaining the verse Proverbs chapter 22 verse 6, which once again reads, "Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it." Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you learned something. Most importantly, please shut the subscribe, share this video, and click the notification bell to be notified when we make future verse breakdowns just like this. Thank you for listening.